Hi everybody, it's me, Kristen. I just wanted to make this video about, well, what everyone's talking about, the terrible shootings that have gone on. And of course, as someone who advocates for mental health, I don't agree with people, already jumping to conclusions that all of the shooters were mentally ill. Because we don't know yet about, there was a shooting in Oregon, Connecticut, Las Vegas, I think Sacramento, and somewhere else that I shouldn't be forgetting, but I am. Anyway, too many to count, and it's very disheartening that it's like that, but I read that article a lot of people are talking about where the woman said, "I am so-and-so's mother," where she talks about her son who's violent, and I didn't really think it was fair for her to compare her 13-year-old son, who may have violent tendencies but has never actually killed anyone, to a mass murderer. So I didn't really think that was fair, and I kind of found it, like, I understand that maybe she needs help with her son, but I found that it was just sensationalistic, and she wasn't doing her son any favors, that's for sure. She talked about how they got in a fight because he wanted to wear blue pants to school, and he was only allowed to wear black or khaki, I guess. And she didn't do anything to de-escalate the confrontation, so it just escalated, and she ended up threatening him with going to the psych hospital, which is not, you don't want to threaten a 13-year-old with psych hospitalization. That's just, don't want to threaten anyone with that. It's like, psych hospitalization is supposed to help you, not be a tool to threaten you with. So I just think that that's really a wrong way to approach it. She definitely needs help in dealing with managing her son, but I really didn't think it was fair for her to compare him to a mass murderer, so that's why I didn't really like that article, whatever it was called, I can't remember. And I also didn't agree with people saying that, oh, we need to reopen, and have a mass state hospital system like we used to have, because the truth is we do still have state hospitals. They're horrible places, generally speaking, and we don't need more of them. I mean, we don't need to create that kind of state hospital system again where people are just locked up for no reason. I do think that people who are a danger to society should be locked up in a mental hospital if they're just mentally unstable or mentally ill, but I don't really think that people should be locked up willy-nilly. And the thought of just locking people up who are mentally ill just across the board is kind of frightening to me, of course. Because people can live a good life and manage their symptoms if they have the right social supports and medication and stuff like that, but like, as I said, we don't even know if these shooters in all the instances were mentally ill. I heard that maybe the Connecticut shooter had Asperger's, which is not a medicatable illness, exactly. There are some medications for Asperger's, but it's not really like, it's not like some other illnesses where you can medicate it a little better. But, it might have had something to do with the fact that his mother had a stockpile of guns in the house, I really can't take sides on the gun issue, because I do believe, too, that if you take away all the guns, people who want to have them will still find a way to have them. But still, I do believe in some gun regulation, and the U.S. has a lot of guns. I don't know. but clearly that kid shouldn't have had access to them. But I don't believe in... I don't think you can take away every single gun on the planet. That wouldn't be feasible or possible or whatever. And probably the people who end up having them would be bad guys anyway. So I think there's a lot of issues, and there's no real answer. We can't do just one thing to solve these kind of heinous crimes where people go out and kill people with, by shooting up the places and stuff. But I don't think kind of reactionary things like, oh, let's get rid of all the mentally ill people, or let's lock them all up, or, let's assume every mass murderer is a mentally ill person, because they're not necessarily. Maybe they have some other kind of problem, or, they could have a kind of maybe a mental illness that we don't really know how to treat yet, like antisocial personality disorder or something like that, that is very difficult to treat, and there really aren't any good solutions right now for that. But, and also I do want to point out that mentally ill people are more likely to be the victims of crime rather than the perpetrators of crime. There's only a small percentage of mentally ill people who are violent, and unfortunately those are the people who make the news. And also, why are we focusing on making these killers famous too? That is kind of a sad thing. I don't know how you could keep their name out of it, but, because we all have morbid curiosity. We want to know, well, why did this kid do this? Or who was this kid? What were his motivations? Or, whoever did the shooting. We want to know their motivations and how we can't comprehend what sort of impossible thing they did. And so, I don't think it's possible to keep them out of the news, but still it's sensationalistic that all these news agencies, the only time they ever focus on mental illness is when they're talking about someone being a mass murderer. So I just think that's wrong, and it doesn't invoke any kind of intelligent or productive discussion about mental illness in the United States or elsewhere. So, if people want to talk about mental illness, they should think about it, every day, and not in the vein of, oh, if we don't do something, these mass murdering psychopath, mentally ill people will come after us. That's not the way to think about mental illness. And so, yeah. Anyway, that's my rant for right now. I just thought I'd put that out there, and I hope you guys are having a good holiday. I hope you get to have a holiday. Don't have to work and stuff like that. So, okay, that's it. Take care. Bye!